Welcome to the perfect podcast show on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. I'm the host of the show, Keith. And this, the perfect podcast show, is the show where I try to make the perfect show, which is why the name of the show that I'm hosting now is the perfect podcast show. It is a podcast that is visual. It's a visual podcast. And it's a show. It's a podcast show, visual podcast show, and my goal is to make it perfect. We try every time. And by we, I mean I, because I'm the host. Oh, I'm already exhausted of the show. That is the perfect podcast show. That's what we're doing now. But hey, you know what? You can call into the show and leave a message if you want. Call and leave a message. We'll play it on the air. We've been having some great calls already. 818-392-4623. 818-392-4623. You can call in, leave a message. We'll play it on the air. Give us advice. Tell us what you think of the show. Hopefully it's good. Maybe if you think the show's perfect, then I can stop, because all I'm trying to do is make the perfect show. Once I have the perfect show, then I can finally stop this. My goal is just to have a perfect show. Once I reach the goal, we're done. So I'm just trying to make the perfect show, which is this, the perfect podcast show that I'm trying to make. Great. Well, thanks for tuning in. Why don't we listen to one of those calls now? How about we do that? Yeah? Can we play one of those calls? Great. I'm shouting to my intern, who will hopefully pull up one of those calls now. There we go. Hi there. Thanks for calling the perfect podcast show. Leave your message and we'll play it on the air. How was that? Does that work?
Oh, hey there, it's Adam Sandler. Yeah, the perfect podcast show. It's funny, man. Really funny. I mean, is it perfect? Not really. If you're going to call yourself the perfect podcast, then maybe don't have so many things going wrong. It's up to you, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to play basketball and make a bunch more movies. Bye-bye.
Wow. Well, thanks for calling in. Thanks for that message. This is the perfect podcast show. I wish, if you call in, hopefully you say a compliment if you can, because once I reach a perfect show, then I can be done, released from my torture here, my purgatory of podcast purgatory. Maybe that's the new name of the show, podcast purgatory, or purgatory podcast, because I'm just trying to do the perfect show, and then I can stop. But until then, we're going to keep trying. So thanks for the call, I guess. I have a good feeling about this show. I got a good feeling about it. I think we got some good stuff coming up. This will be a good one. We have a very, very funny guest. But before we get to the guest, we got to pay the bills, as they say, because podcasts aren't free. This studio, these signs, each of these signs were $20,000. I've been told that I was ripped off because they shouldn't be that much, but too late, already paid, couldn't cancel the order. So, we got to pay them off. And to do that, we have advertisements. So let's put on one of those ads now. Yeah, great. So let's put on one of those ads and help pay for these signs. advertisement to help pay for these expensive signs on the Perfect Podcast Show. But enough about these signs. We're going to attempt this again. We tried this in some earlier episodes, and there was some scheduling issues, and there were some technical issues. But right now, we have a very special guest to the Perfect Podcast Show. Please welcome the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger. Welcome. Welcome to the show, Bob. You're here? Hello, Bob? Bob? Hello, Mr. Iger. Iger, hello? Hello? This happened before. Are you here? This is the time we talked about for you to come on the show. Are you there? Hello? Mr. Iger. Bob. Bobby, are you there? Hello? Okay, well, we'll have to try that again another time, I guess. Anyway, it's time to get to our guest. My guest today is a very funny person who I met many years ago, and we have a great chat coming up. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for this chat. Very funny stand-up comedian. Maybe you've seen her around town or on videos or other podcasts or TV, or if you haven't, well, please welcome the very funny Kym Kral. Hey, you're here.
I'm here. Hi.
I'm so happy to have you on the show.
I know. Me too. It's been like a year in the making, right?
Right.
Didn't I message
the show or you being on the show?
Me coming on here.
No way.
You said something that I quote all the time on that trip. The trip to Disneyland.
The trip, the great adventure.
Yeah, me and you and Mickey Mouse. We got to the portion of the day where we had spent so much of the time at Disneyland is being in lines and like talking, right? Yeah. So we got to the portion of the day where we were like, not trauma bonding, but it was to the point where we were like talking about like some deep stuff, right? And you just interrupt someone and go, "Oh my God, we're all so fucked up. Humans are so fucked up. We're all," and I thought about that every time anything happens. I'm like, all of us are. I'm not alone. It's fine. Because I think about Keith and that day that you just.
We all think we are. And especially at Disneyland, it's the best place where you're like, it's magical. But like, yeah, we're all like, oh, I'm going to hide the fact that I have all this stuff going on. But then everybody's doing that. Everybody's hiding the fact that they have a bunch of stuff going on.
I know. And that's like my goal as a artist. That it feels weird to call myself an artist because I tell dick jokes. But like, that's my goal as like a performer and artist, is just to like tell as many people as I can all the weird stuff I think about and do. Because every time I told a story on Crawl Space. This is so weird. A long, long time ago, where I used to go to these slumber parties where the popular girls would have them. And I was always like best friends with one popular girl, but then none of the other ones really liked me. Oh. And they would have like spin the bottle. Like we would fool around. We were like 10 and we would like, all girls would like fool around. And the first one I went to, and I'd never told anybody about it because I was like, that is so weird. And I'm so ashamed and so embarrassed. And then I talked about it on Crawl Space, and like 5 women strangers emailed me and was like, oh my God, I had all this shame around this like weird experimentation. And I remember one of the parties I went to, my best friend it was her party. This is such a weird. And she was like, all right, ladies, we've all all right, girls, or whatever you call each other when you're a 10-year-old girl, we've paired up. I'm going to turn off the lights and you're going to fool around with your partner for 10 minutes. And then, I mean, they didn't say partner, like it was like very juvenile, but it was definitely like, you're going to touch your partner. And then we're going to switch every 10 minutes. And my best friend, she turned off the light, she came to me and I didn't want to do this at all. And she could tell that I didn't want to. And, good on 10-year-old Holly, because she turned on the lights and was like, hey, FYI, some people aren't going to want to do this. So you need to respect their boundaries. So you can just spend that 10 minutes talking. And then luckily there was one other girl who didn't want to do it either. So we just stayed partners the whole time and was just like, what the fuck is happening?
And this is all in one room. So you just hear people like,
yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Great for 10-year-olds to say that. But it's like, it's so awkward when you're 10, you don't know anything.
And where are they learning this?
Like, what are you, what is anyone do? I mean, side note, great experience to be like, get past the awkwardness of like, what is kissing? But like, what a great,
Oh, yeah,
we
girls
did it
kissed.
here. That's great. You just get it out of the way instead of like, oh no, I'm 42 and I haven't kissed anyone. What do I do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
little girls kissed when we were little. Like we all
Yeah.
like my first kiss was a girl because we
Yeah.
wanted to practice. Yeah.
And that's how else do you do it? And I'm not saying I'm 42 and I haven't kissed someone. That's not what
I feel like that's what you were saying.
That's not
It's
what
fine.
I was saying. I'm not 42. But also
Oh.
I haven't kissed someone. Wait, hold on. I've dug myself in a hole.
You have.
And that's not what I'm saying.
I mean, I had a boyfriend for a little while and we never kissed because I didn't want to date him. And I was just like, I'm tired. This
Wait,
poor guy.
When you were 10 or more recently?
When I was like 25.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He didn't like me.
See, then there's he didn't like you.
I mean, he really liked me, but he really hated me because I was just like, okay, bye. And I would like high five him. And yeah, I was like, I don't want to date you, but I don't know how to say no because I'm 25.
Yeah, I guess because I was thinking about like that. You get into like not charity cases, but you're like, well, I don't know, I felt bad. And then you get in things where you feel bad and like, I feel like it's probably more for women. It's like, you gotta do this thing in society, and like you can't say no. And like everyone's saying why you should do stuff. And then it's like, well, I don't want to do this, but I guess I should because someone gave me attention, and like then it's just awful.
It's also, that's a funny thing that you say, like women in society. So I met this guy on Bumble. I since have deleted it, and this guy, but we talked for a little bit on the phone.
You're married to him. It worked out thanks to Bumble. Yay,
no, thank God. Thank God. This guy was not the droid I was looking for, but I will find one, maybe.
Okay, so wait, go.
So we talked a couple of times on the phone, one time for like 5 hours, which...
Before you met?
Before we met, which is not the move, by the way. Because like after the phone call, I was like, and it was a good phone call. He was very nice. And like, obviously I didn't even know 5 hours had passed, but I was like, now I have to meet him. And if I don't like him, I have to break up with someone I don't even know. So like, don't do that. But then we were going to meet. He first said, he told me he got a really good bottle of whiskey. He was like, I got this really good bottle of whiskey. And I was like, what kind of whiskey? And he was like, Maker's Mark. And I was like, oh.
It has wax on top.
Yeah, I was like, you sound like I have an uncle in Montana who once asked me if I'd ever heard of that Crown Royale. So like that, which God love him, right? But like that's like Maker's Mark is fine, but not something to brag. And so and then he was like, do you want to hang out tomorrow? Which I don't like, dude, you're almost 50. Ask somebody on a date. Just what, like if you want to pal around. So I was like, yeah, I'm available Tuesday. Where do you want to meet and when? And then he was like, picked a bar. And then he goes, but if you want, instead, we could just take this bottle of Makers and go to a park and get drunk until the cops kick us out. The amount of people that have told me I should just give him a chance, or that I'm alone and I need to just like maybe not be so picky. He was probably just kidding. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. The amount of people who told me I should just go out with this guy, and I said no. I texted him and I was like, this isn't the connection I'm looking for. I wish you the best. Have a good life.
Yeah, that's there's so many things. You're 50, grow up. You're gonna go until you get kicked out of a park. But also, yeah, the should thing is like, how do we erase that? How do we erase should?
Men need to stop telling women what they should do.
No, I think you should give me a better answer than that. I know, but like, just in general, there's so much should. Yeah, and it's coming. Oh my God, it's coming from people who wish their life was different, right?
Yeah.
It's people go well, I wish I did something different, so you should, because I'm not going to. Right?
Yes. I think also like the people that were telling me I should go out with this guy, they're in relationships and they don't have relationships that I personally want. You know what I mean? Like I'll like take advice from people who are in a relationship that I am like, oh, that is the partnership I want. But these relationships, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to end up with, like, if I date, I would just have some guy in my house now. Like this guy, like that kind of guy would just be like, I'm moving in. And
I got some Maker's Mark for you. Can you help me take the wax off? We're dating now.
Yeah, I think he thought after the 5 hours of conversation that like, well, we're dating. And I'm like, I'm on a level with you now. If he's tall, so it'd have to be 5 other tall guys, but I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Like, that's how little I was like, yeah, it was just, we didn't, yeah.
Because then there's the thing where you don't want to be an asshole and you don't want to be mean. But if you give someone a certain amount of time, and I feel like this, at least on a guy's side, that if a girl gives any attention, like, it's like, hey, can you pass me the ketchup? Like, oh, she likes me. And we just assume that. But then now you're in a place where it's like, well, now it's up to you to like break up with me. Like, I just asked you for the ketchup. So it's this weird thing where like you gave someone time, so now you owe them something, which is insane because you're just being nice. You're just being nice. And if you're not nice, if you're like, I'm not talking to you for 5 hours, well, now you're an asshole. So
now you're
like,
a bitch.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also a thing that like dudes, I'll like talk to a guy about something or I'll talk to a guy about a girl that he dated in high school. And he's like, yeah, she still wants me. Like, guys think that if I wanted you once at a certain point in my life, I will pine over you for the rest of time. And
I've been guilty of that, I think.
Yeah.
And then if they get married, I'm like, whoa, oh, wow, they've settled, but they're just still waiting.
They must be pining over me still, though, right?
Why? That's insane that we think that.
I have a friend that has liked like a handful of girls, and they've had like him and the girls have all had like some flirtation, but I don't think he's really dated any of them, but he's had like some kind of flirtation. And when all of them get married, he is like, every single one of them, he said, her husband looks exactly like me.
Oh, yeah.
And like, really? And then he'll show me a photo, and I'm like, well, you're both dudes.
See,
and
there it is.
White. That's it. White dudes. That's they look
she's
nothing.
in love with me, clearly, but she couldn't have me, so she went to the second best option.
So she searched the globe for my doppelganger, not my
another white guy.
Yeah, which is literally like, and every time he shows me, he's like, right, doesn't this guy look exactly like me? And I don't.
Wow.
To be honest, I could tell him no, I could tell the truth, but I don't have the bandwidth to explain or like get into a bigger conversation. So I just go, oh, crazy every time.
Yeah. And there's just another example that we're all fucked up.
We're all so fucked up. You're right.
That he's like, yeah, and then goes to sleep at night like, they all love me. But then it sounds like he's just really sad.
Yeah. Well, he finally found a woman that he's marrying, I think. And I haven't talked to him in a really long time. So
does she look like the other girls that were in love with him?
Oh my God, I've never no. They kind of look alike, the two of them, actually.
Oh, which is, so he's just in love with himself.
maybe this whole time he's just like but they could, couples that could be brother and sister, and I've been guilty of that. Like, I've had boyfriends that is like, we could be brother and sister.
I've done that, and then I'm like, oh, it's weird. But also, I think most people do that. And I think that's another thing of like, you should, which I think it's like definitely for certain cultures, like Asian culture, it's like, oh, or Jewish culture, oh, do this. You gotta date someone in your same thing, which then is weird because it's like not that far removed from being related.
Yeah. And also,
we're so fucked up.
We're all so fucked up. And I think about that.
Yeah.
That all the time.
Date someone who like looks like they could be related to you.
I mean, we do that with friends too, like birds of a feather. Like, even if we have friends that are different races and different like cultures, we're still very, like, all my friends are very similar to me, even if they're not the same race or culture, but like we just flock to, so maybe we're all also just like way too into ourselves.
Because we're looking for other people because we know we're fucked up or we don't know, but we're looking for other people who agree with us and they're like, oh, you're fucked up like I am. So if we group together, then we're not fucked up. Everyone else is fucked up because they're not like us, even though we're the ones who are fucked up. We're all fucked up.
We're all so fucked up. That's what this whole thing should be about. But that's what I want to do with my like art, I guess, is like my goal is just to like share as much as I can just to make, because I think there's like an isolation in everyone being fucked up because people compare their backstage to other people's front stage, and so I try to expose as much as my backstage as I can so I can be
this isn't talking about taking off clothing, right? This is revealing.
No.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I've thought about doing an
reveal your
OnlyFans, but
backstage.
I know the more I talked, I was like, it sounds like I'm talking about mooning people, but I mean,
Yeah.
like your insides to your outsides, you know?
Yeah,
like
because there's a thing with the more. I mean, I think every week I get more and more upset at social media because then like it's just people copying what people are doing and then redoing it, which is not real at all. So then
No.
it's like, oh well, that's how people are, and then that's how I'll do it. So I'll be like them too, but it's not revealing anything. And then you go and you see things, and it's like, here's the thing that you're supposed to do. Here's the thing. Oh, here's what everyone does. I'm doing a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, which is not going to resonate with anyone. Instead of revealing something super true that you usually wouldn't tell anyone, maybe not even your therapist. And then when you do, someone's like, oh yeah, hey, I did that. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Right? I think that that's the goal. Like, I think that's the way we, I don't know, solve world hunger. I don't know.
Because then it's just, we're just trying to bring more people. I mean, this might do it, but if you do that, then the people who are also fucked up will see you and go, oh, and then they'll connect. And then that builds the group of more fucked up people. And then eventually the goal would be everybody realizing we're all in the big fucked up group instead of having our small fucked up groups. We're all one big fucked up group. And then we're like, well, if you're all fucked up, then like, hey, I'm going to give you food because we're all fucked up.
Yeah.
So I think it would solve world hunger.
I think it would too. I think it would solve all of the world problems because I think most of the thing we all just are this isolated. We think we're terminally unique, all of that stuff, and we're not. Humans are fucked up creatures.
Yeah.
And nothing we do, no amount of science, technology, anything, therapy, by design, we're flawed, you know? And I think once we just like embrace that shit, we'll all be a little bit kinder.
I love that I learned that therapists are fucked up. Because you think that they know, but they're like, oh no, I see a therapist, or like that they're not perfect. Oh,
they're more fucked up than we are.
Yeah. And have to carry that around all the time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But,
are you in therapy?
Yeah. I had two
same.
for a while. I was doing 2 back to back. They didn't know about it. I had was going to one on Monday and another one on Wednesday, and then would like, oh yeah, well last time we were talking about, oh that wasn't here, and it was like got awkward. It was like I had like an affair.
Why didn't you tell the other one about the other one?
Because it was like, oh, if I tell them I'm going to that one, then they're gonna be like, why are you going to them and not me? And become super judgmental. And then that's my biggest fear is like of going to therapy. It's like, you're judging me, and like they're like, I'm literally not. That's my job, is not to judge you. But like, they're gonna judge me. So then I had to break up with one, and then saw this other one for a long time, and then finally broke up with him when I was like, oh, he's checked out for the last few months. He is not. He's just clocking in. And then quickly found another one, which was great. So that's my therapy journey. You didn't ask, but there it is.
I love that you had okay, so I have a coach. I know that's really LA, but it's kind of the most transformative thing I've ever been a part of.
Well, my therapist I had for a long time was part therapist, part career coach, part spiritual advisor, and he lived in the Hollywood Hills. That is the most LA thing.
Dude, I love LA though. I love that shit. Like people are like, oh, and it's like, well, it works. So I have a coach and a therapist, and it took me, I don't know, like a month ago when I finally told them about each other. I was like, so I'm in therapy, and I was like, so I have a life coach, and it's funny how they reacted. Like my therapist was like, okay, kind of like, great. But for a while I thought she might be Trumpy. That was my first like month with her. I was like, I don't think I could take advice from someone who's a part of that. But then I started taking cues. I talked about a trans friend, and she gendered them correctly.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Like, see the reaction when you say certain things.
And I forgot. I wasn't even thinking when I was talking about a trans friend, but like, and my therapist gendered them correctly. And then I was watching her one day, and she had a water, like a good water bottle with like bumper stickers on it. And I was like, no fucking Trump guy is caring about, no Republican cares about the environment. So I was like, okay.
They would have a big water bottle covered in MAGA stickers.
Oh yeah. There would be more signs. I wonder that, like, are there MAGA therapists? Like,
oh my gosh. I don't know.
Like, but so she seemed kind of okay about the life coach, but I feel weird talking about anything I've learned from the life coach. But the life coach is like, great, I'm an advocate for therapy. She's like, some therapists are not good. So I really hope you found a good one because it is like an 80-20 situation. 20% are awesome, 80 are not. And yeah. So I finally told
like
them.
it's if you don't know therapy and that's another thing of like, I mean, it's more in LA and I think other places where it's like okay to do therapy. But if it's like weird, like a stigma that it's weird to do therapy because that means you're so crazy. But hey, we're all fucked up.
We're all fucked up.
But yeah, like my first therapist, I was like, I don't know. I guess this is right. And she would literally just go, but yeah, you don't know if it's good. There's no way to tell.
And you can't. You can't like, and I also think that too. You can't have, this is so judgy, but an overly religious therapist or overly like, because I'm not factual, but almost factual, that demographic of people are not open-minded, it is like, this is the story I was told at childhood, and this is the story that I white knuckle through my life, no matter how much other evidence has showed me that. And like those two groups of people, MAGA and religious, it's like, I don't know how you can be an objective therapist when someone is,
Yeah, if you believe anything that much, and that's not what you're there for. So if someone's like, the answer to everything is drinking Coca-Cola, welcome to therapy, every issue is going to be like, well, when's the last time you had a Coke? Like, they're going to constantly have that in the background of like, well, that's the answer. But like, that's not what you're there for. So yeah, it can't be objective.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, yay. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. So thanks for being on the show.
Yay. Thanks. Wait, are we really done?